Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. Today is the 20th of November, beginning of the Thanksgiving week. It's about 3 p.m. Very good day in the markets. All three indices moved up higher. Let's take a quick look on the Nasdaq first to start with. Went up about 160 points, almost 1.13%, moved up beyond this resistance zone that I put out last week, heading out to the next resistance zone at 1431, 381. So that's a good sign, good move, but low volume. 44 million shares on the QQQ. So that indicates that compared to a 56 million usual, this is a little bit low. The S&P 500 also up. Did fairly well today, roughly about 33 points. Again, out of this resistance zone, the next resistance zone looks a little bit higher. Might do a pullback, but this is moving strong and up into the right. At least at the end of the year, it looks good. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finally also did very, very well, moved up about 200 points, 0.5%. Again, out of the good resistance zone that we had planned for last week, strong move up, should head up much, much higher. The next resistance zone is the 35,355 zone. So another 200 points from here, and then hopefully it clears out this high resistance of 35,669, which will be the 1-year high, 52-week high. That's a good sign. One of the stocks that showed up is Coinbase. Coinbase is a marketplace for digital cryptocurrency. They are an exchange, so you can buy and sell cryptocurrency on Coinbase. Let's look at why it showed up on the radar. Before we go to the technical analysis, I always start with the financials and fundamentals. So starting with the financial statements on an annualized basis, the company has grown from roughly about 500 million in revenue to, oh wow, it's gone up all the way nearly 12 times in 2021 to 7.8 billion, and then less than half of that, and now trending even a little bit lower. So that's interesting. I wonder why it's showing up. Still, overall, if you look at the revenue, it's about 5 times up, trailing 12 months. Gross margins are in the 80% range. Net margins are in the negative 2 to 5% range. So that's a little bit of a challenge. They were making a lot of money, and then now they seem to have been losing a lot of money. So that not a perfect scenario from a fundamentals perspective on an annualized basis. So this is the reason why after losing year-over-year losses in revenue of 30, 40, 70%, they turned the first time where comparables were probably very good. Look at Q3 22 to Q3 23. That's a 14% higher earnings move. Still 80% gross margins and very small loss, about 2 million. So that's one of the big reasons why the stock showed up on the radar screen. A good earnings overall. They beat the top line by a little bit. They beat the bottom line, it looks like, by a lot as well. That's one of the reasons why. From a balance sheet perspective, totally about 137 assets. I don't believe this. They don't have 137 billion. Even Apple has somewhere in that range. So I think most of the assets, okay, so the actual cash and short-term investments is about 5 billion compared to a debt of 3 billion. So not perfect, but still manageable because they're losing very little money. But this is not a terrific balance sheet overall. Good thing is it's moving up into the right a little bit. Oh wow, look at this. From it's gone up to nearly 8 times price to sales for a 10% growth. That's high. That's really, really high. And if you look at it from a margin perspective, 80, good strong margins, but small and relatively no net margins. So we've got to find a way to be able to turn that around, reduce their losses on an annualized basis. They make their money from crypto. So since crypto has been moving up into the right last quarter, seems to be one of the reasons why the stock is doing well. Let's go to the technical analysis. So what has it done? It IPO'd somewhere in the 21 timeframe, and then strong IPO went up to 379. Oh, wow, look at that. And since then, has never touched that. So it went up to over $375, and then rapid decline, stage 4 decline, then all the way to November 21, just formed a base, a strong move up, even stronger move up to 369, and then a move down. This is the stage 4 decline all the way to June 22, and since then has been stuck in this base. So in the very long term, it has been what I would call base building pattern. This range is essentially building a base all the way from May of 22 to November of 23. It's just been building a base. It's been very range bound. The range is high from about 30 to about $100, $106. So it's built a large base, but still, you look at it, this is not, this is a side move for most parts on a monthly. On the weekly chart, very similar. As you could see, it went from the beginning of the year from about even from the beginning of the year, it's gone from $400 down not from the beginning of the year, sorry. This is more of a 21 euro chart. So it's attempted a lot of rallies to move up. Look at this. This is a nice strong move up and then stage 4 decline. This is a base. So if you look at it from the weekly basis, what it's done in the last few weeks is essentially fallen off of the top at 111 and then built a base for it to make a move up. This is one of the reasons why. This is a nice base. I wouldn't call it a strong base, but on the weekly chart, as you can see, this is a base that it's built and hopefully getting out of the base. Big resistance for it is coming up right now. So this is a very big resistance point. 110 area is a big area of resistance, and a big support for it seems to be in the 70 area, although we'll adjust it on the daily chart. Let's look at the daily chart right now. On the daily chart, yeah, so it's built a very good base and seems to be coming up into resistance in the 110 zone. My suspicion is it has to find a way to get out of that zone. Otherwise, it's going to be stuck and fall down again. 110 to 114, this zone is going to be key for it to make a move up and to the right. If it does, then I think it does very, very well. The downside protection for it is probably going to be in the 104 level. So that will be my stop loss. If I was trading this, I'd expect it to move to the 110 zone at least, at the minimum, 104. So buy it in the 106 zone, expect a move down to 104 as a stop loss, $2 stop loss, but a move to 110 would give you a $4 move, which is not significant, less than 1% move. But the key part is going to be, if you want to be a small base, make a little bit of a move here, but the odds are in your favor. 106 down to 102, which is a low down. The volume is not very high. So that's one of the things that gives me pause. Compared to the usual volume, it's about the same. So average volume is 10 million. Today's volume is 10.9 million, about the same. So the move was not a very significant move on the green. The candle looks beautiful, but the move is not confirmed by the volume. But moving averages all pointing up and to the right, good sign. RSI seems a little bit stretched. So 110 is probably the best move it's going to make, from 106 to 110 and then fall back down again. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. Please share and like and comment and let me know your thoughts if there's another stock you want me to be able to analyze.